recognizes Mr. Burchett from Tennessee.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ms. Criswell, there seems to be a huge discrepancy in federal cost share between different states. And if I had a map, I could show, well, there it is up there on there. Why is East Tennessee only granted 45 days of 100% federal cost share? Well, it seems like parts of North Carolina, as you can see, were granted 180 days of the 100% federal cost share.
The cost share requests for each of the states were granted based on the governor's request.
The governor. So when I go to Governor Bill Lee, he's going to tell me that was what he requested.
That was the governor's initial request. He has since then requested an additional amount of time, and that's currently under review.
Okay. We'd be very appreciative if you could help with that. Why is there a political border between Tennessee and North Carolina determining the federal cost share? Does that fall back on the governors, or is that something that you all do? I mean, it just seems like if you got a loss, you know, why should it stop at the border if obviously the devastation was in North Carolina and then the water came down through there and just wiped out parts of Tennessee as well?
Presidential disaster declarations are based by statute on individual states, and then everything that goes with that to include cost share is based on the request from the governor as well as the overall capacity and needs of that state.
Okay. When would the governor's review be finalized?
We plan to have that review done in the next several weeks.
Okay. If it's done in the next several weeks, won't that delay the cleanup by these companies?
No, it should not delay it. This is only about a cost share. So the work to continue to remove debris or to stabilize critical infrastructure should and needs to continue, and then we will continue to reimburse states on the work that they have done.
Okay. Is North Carolina eligible for 180 days of federal cost share due to the severity of the disaster, or is it just that goes back just to the governor what they were asking?
In North Carolina's case, the governor did ask for 180 days, and based on the severity and magnitude of the disaster and the scale of the impacts across western North Carolina, it was determined that that was an appropriate request.
Okay. What documentation do you require to reimburse disaster victims for temporary shelter?
For individuals themselves or for states that covered sheltering costs?
Individuals.
So if an individual has experienced costs related to evacuating their area either pre-landfall or during a disaster, they are eligible for a number of different programs. They can get rental assistance, and that can be determined just by applying for FEMA additional assistance. But if they need continuing rental assistance, they will have to show receipts that they are continuing to pay for rent. Every case is going to be specific and unique to each individual, and we work with them on a case-by-case basis.
The lady who's been alluded to many times, I believe her name, the FEMA employee name was Marnie Washington, if I'm correct, who gave the order to discriminate against Trump supporters. Who was her supervisor? And was the supervisor disciplined, or was it just totally taken as a individual action?
At this point, the unacceptable behavior of this FEMA crew lead, this individual person, has led to my direction to have her terminated. We are conducting ongoing investigations, and we will continue to provide any necessary disciplinary action as necessary. We have also engaged the Inspector General to assist us and provide their own independent investigation.
Was this person's supervisor investigated as well?
This is an ongoing investigation, and everybody that has been involved in that incident will be part of that investigation.
When do you expect that to be finalized? Is there any way to tell?
I think it's too early to tell an exact time frame, especially since we want to bring in the Inspector General to conduct their own investigation.
Okay. What documents do illegal migrants need for shelter?
I'm not an immigration agency. I would have to defer you to DHS.
So they don't come to you all and say, when they apply for FEMA, they don't do that?
Only legal citizens can get additional assistance from FEMA. There are a number of ways that they can do that, and it's all described in statute.
Okay. Secretary Mayorkas uses authority under Title V of the 2024 Appropriations Bill to shift funds from the migrant program to disaster relief programs. How do you plan to restore the faith in FEMA after that occurred?
Can you repeat that question, sir?
I'm going to run out of time, if that's all right, Mr. Chairman. Has Secretary Mayorkas used his authority under Title V of the 2024 Appropriations Bill to shift funds from migrant programs to disaster relief programs?
I'm not aware of any funding being shifted from migrant programs into disaster relief programs.
Or
disaster relief is a separate appropriation from Congress.
Okay, for disaster relief to migrant, either way?
There has been no money shifted from the disaster relief fund under this administration to support migrant programs.
Okay, I've run out of time. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.